even have your books out. You're not ready.
I'm ready.
That's fine.
I'm waiting on you.
This is true. I'm going to myself organized. How do I want to go? Like usual. Okay. Alright, let's start with Scout Comics. Woo! Loving me some Scout.
Yes.
Just like a cat that ran across the back of the couch. What in the world just happened? Sorry, I wasn't expecting it. That was a squirrel on the roof for a minute. Alright, Scout Comics is a new book out called Graveland. The front cover won't tell you anything about this book because it's not like about military dudes. It is in fact about giant fissures that open up from the earth and giants that come out of it.
Oh.
And the government's experiments to create superhumans that can fight them, but with the very best art you could possibly imagine and very serious. So, and it doesn't work out so good for the superhumans. But gorgeous, gorgeous art. Everything that we've picked up from Scout has always been so good, and this is no exception. Gorgeous. Love it. Excited to see what happens.
DuckTales. Woohoo!
Woo-hoo.
So this one is number 1 from IDW, and I was like, sweet, it'll be great, and it was even better than I expected. So
didn't the show just start too?
I'm not sure.
I thought there was a show.
I think it just started a little bit ago. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys can tell me.
Yeah,
I heard it was good.
when. I've heard it was really good. I have not had a chance to go back and watch it yet, but yeah. So this one's got a couple different little mini stories in it.
Mm-hmm.
And no lie, I totally went and listened to the theme song while reading it, because I was like, it's stuck in my head. I have to listen to it now.
Is it just like we remember from when we were kids?
Yeah.
I think that was out first before you were born.
Doesn't
Pretty sure.
I don't know.
No?
I don't know. Somebody, what year did it come out? No idea.
Young Jen year. That's my only guess. Someone knows. Alright, it's getting even hotter up in here. Alright, X-Men of War. We're at issue 7, so this is the beginning of the new story arc. You know how it's done it in arcs. Started out with Soldier, and then General. Now this is Emperor. Let's see, we've had, in the last issue, we saw that there were aliens that had started appearing on the planet. They're giant monolithic spaceships. And you learn the twist that the Emperor had actually asked them to come and destroy the burnt for him. Remember, he's also at fighting with it's the cadmium and the azure, which are fighting. He wants to just kind of wipe out everybody. He wants to be the only one standing. So I think at this part, Arik has figured out that the Emperor is only out for himself, and it doesn't matter what deal he's made with anybody, that he's going to not honor it. So this book is really about him trying to gather together all the different races. I think it's Gorn. And he's trying to get them to work together under his own tutelage. And by the way, the Emperor was so evil he went and destroyed the farm that he and his wife live on. It's horrible. And the art is gorgeous as always. And you finally get to see him with the armor in action.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And the armor smack talking, so.
Some smack talking in here too.
What?
War Mother.
Yes.
With oh my goodness.
What's her gun's name? I always forget it.
It starts with an F.
Francis.
No, I don't think so.
No, probably not.
No, it's not Francis.
Somebody knows it.
So we see a couple different things. We see, we're following War Mother, but we're also following, in the last issue, because she hadn't come back, so they assumed it was safe to go where she was. It's totally not.
No, I can imagine not.
But so they're on their way. They're taking a rest. So we see a little bit of her son and some of the other people, and then we cut back to her, and she's trying to find her gun. Because
they're like a hairbrush. You don't just misplace it. It's huge.
Well, yeah, but right now she's captured because we saw that at the end of the last.
That's right.
The last one, so
you she has to. Time, so I didn't.
Oh, that's right. I didn't show you that part. Well, she got captured, but now she has to find a way out. But she's, because she's linked with with her AI, so she's able to still communicate and figure out how to break out. And then there's a twist.
Woo! Man, we love War Mother. We need a War Mother movie. Oh,
yes.
Something I forgot to ask, to mention. It might be in the back of yours too. The end of X-O Manowar has a 4-page preview of Ninja K.
Yes.
Which, oh man, totally hooked me. Because you, in the preview, get to learn about Ninja A and Ninja B. It's not hokey in any way. I know. I apologize. This is my parents calling. They totally have no clue. No clue. They probably will call again. Just knowing them. Alright. Flash was amazing. I think everything DC and Marvel this week was blowing it up. They're like stepping the game.
I read so much DC.
Alright, so in Flash, you've got Flash has got some real problems because he's got some reverse force he is not able to control. It's actually got in a lot of trouble. And a guy who is working, I guess, at the lab has been stealing blood samples that were being used for, like, when you're trying to solve a crime, when they take the samples from that. And so he's been using that and been manipulating it, and now he's a super gigantic bad guy. And so this story is dealing with that interaction and how that works out. That's actually really, really good. Man, I hate when I can't remember guys' names. It's Blood something. Blood Test, Blood.
You asked
me. Dadgummit. Blood Work. It's on the front of the cover. Look at that. Look at that. It's Blood Work is the bad guy's name. Really, really good.
So, Rat Queen special. This one's about Dave the Orc. It's really cute. I love Rat Queens. And I was like, well, this one looks like it's gonna be a good little one-shot, and totally is. It's heartwarming and totally not what you would expect from orcs.
Envision smashing and eating things with their hands.
That's what you'd think, but nope. So, and then you get to learn a little bit more about, I guess, orcs. I don't know if it's the normal thing for all orcs, but he and his dad, and they go on a little trip, and then they run into, of course, the Rat Queens. So, just for a second, just for a little bit, he heals them up, and but Dave!
His son just came around the corner in his pajama pants. I love you, teenager.
Honey buns.
Yes, honey buns. You know what teenagers run off of? Honey buns and cereal, which is what he just ate. And it's, 6 o'clock at night. Sure, why not? Alright, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern Corps. I have been reading this on and off, so I haven't been reading every single issue, but I love jumping in because it's always so amazing. So the Corps is actually in the center of helping one of the new gods. The son has been kidnapped, and they've realized that as long as this son's heart isn't in his body, or still he's not alive, I suppose, that these creatures can't track them. They're like giant robot guys, and so they've constructed a Green Lantern heart for this kid while they're trying to fight them, so they can't be found. If that makes any sense. So some of the Lanterns are exhausted because they're trying to keep this construct up to keep this kid alive. Mm-hmm. He's a grown kid, by the way. Everyone's a kid to me, and Meanwhile, the Corps fighting these guys who have shown up and tried to release this kid's grandfather, who's a very, very, very bad creature. We don't want him back out. So it's really, really cool. They figure out how to do that. Very creative. It's just a general, all good, let's battle.
Good.
Oh yeah, Fujitsu time.
Fujitsu. Mm-hmm. So, this is the main kid. So, he is a boy, like, young, but he is 100 and something years old. He's like 120.
Oh my gosh.
Or something like that, yeah. He is a master of just about every single kind of kung fu, I think. Except for one, he says. But he's been meditating.
Can't do drunken boxing.
No, he can only bend the strongest metal in the world. He can't break it. That's what it is. But there's so many different kinds of jujitsu that he mastered. And like that alone just got me hooked into the book. And then, there's time traveling and a bad guy. And
is a giant foot a bad guy?
Well, that's not in the book yet.
It's just really cool looking.
It's just really cool looking, yeah. But there's lots of hilariousness and
Is it a
hilarity.
lighthearted book?
Definitely. And then there's
Aftershock.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
it's our friend Jai Knits.
Yeah.
We love him. Jay, thanks for making things. So yeah.
Yeah.
I see him every once in a while
time.
at conventions, and I always say, "Hey, you need to come to our store." And then we totally make plans for doing that, and then we forget what we're doing because life.
Well, we love
Jay,
Aftershock.
we love you.
So.
We miss you. Come and see us sometime. I don't know where you really live. You have to tell me.
No, you're gonna do all your Marvel. I'm about to do all your
Yep,
DC.
I'm not gonna run on Marvels here. Okay, X-Men
I read
Blue.
more books than you.
I think it is you. No, we're pretty even because I'm gonna do this one too. All right, X-Men
I have 6
Blue.
left.
Remember, this is the one that's closely tied to Magneto. In this one, the Goblin Queen is calling many demon-y versions of herself from all over.
Mm-hmm.
She's super happy about that, and she's converted the Beast into kind of a white demon with promise. I can't remember what she's actually promised Hank, but in their desperation and trying to fight her, the X-Men have actually called from another dimension a different version of themselves, which is kind of cool because Storm shows up and she's like a vampire version of herself, and she's a super complex character. I love her a lot. So I don't want to say any more than that about it because everything else gives many things away, but that's the setup.
All
Goblin Queen, many versions of herself, demon-y white beast,
Cool.
and a vampire Storm. Go!
I think I'm gonna do this one first, just because it's not related to anything else, and everything else is kind of tied together. So this is Batman, and I'm probably gonna say it wrong. Noir.
That's exactly right.
All right.
You get lots of points.
Sweet. I don't speak French. So this one's got 2 mini stories in it. Yeah, 2 mini stories in it. It's kind of like a story within a story, kind of. So this one takes place in it takes place first now, and then the second mini story takes place in the past, but with all the characters. So like Batman exists and it's all in the 1930s. I think it's 1932 or something like that.
That's a look.
So, yeah, and it's just amazing. Like the artwork is really good.
It's cool because when you think about it, Batman's supposed to be a detective, and that was the best of the detective eras. Was when it was crime.
Just some of the artwork. It's there's color and everything. There's great artwork. And yeah, I really don't want to say too much about it because it's really good.
It came to us as a freebie. We only got 5 of them. We're assuming that it's tied to New York Comic Con, and maybe they're giving them away there.
Maybe.
So we won't have like comics copies for sale per se, but we'll put our 5 out and maybe try to raise some money for Hurricane Harvey relief.
Yeah, and then there's Batman Gotham Noir. That's the conclusion to this. So this doesn't even have the whole conclusion. So I can't wait to read it.
Very cool. And it's also done by Panosian, who's over.
Yes. Yes.
Art so much.
Yes, the artwork.
Do one more because I'm totally gonna get messed up.
All right.
Yes, of course, Nightwing.
Nightwing, the New Order. So this one we find out more about his son, who has powers, which we saw in the last. That he was. What can I say without giving anything away?
Sometimes it's very hard. I do know we sold out of the first one very
Yeah, we
handily.
did. Yeah, we did. And yeah, I don't think I can say anything else.
It's okay.
So,
We know he has a son.
And
Is the son on his side or not?
well, his son is like young, like probably Alex's age.
Okay.
So, if
I love you too, baby. I
um,
love you too.
so it really he just doesn't understand why his father did what he did to get rid of 90% of the, which we find out what it was that happened. We still don't know why he did what he did. And we don't really know why he is so against superpowers. So, and we also find out more about his son's powers and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, she can't do that.
So-
Can't rely me.
All right, your turn.
Little known fact: Hannah is allergic to cats.
And comics.
And some comics, as it turns out. All right. Next, I'm going to talk about
All these.
Foom. Okay. If you're a child not of this generation, but of the last, mine, and maybe you might have to go back before that, you will recognize Foom. Foom was a long-lived, cool magazine that was put out by Marvel. That was kind of like a news magazine. Told you what was going to come out and what was going on. Interviews with the creators and
Yes, I see some names.
y'all. So it's got. I mean, this
that
is
sounds awesome.
chock full of what's going on,
I'm so
where
glad
they're
they're bringing
going.
this back.
Yeah. Everyone needs news.
Yeah.
All right, so Boom is amazing. It has a
Oh my
huge
gosh.
price point. Hope you can find this much money in your couch of free.
Tell me more.
Free. Like, free. So if you show up and buy anything Marvel, free. And plus, it has most information is about all the legacy stuff that's coming up, which will make you super excited because
That's the more that
it's
I
been
wanted to
not as secret what legacy is about, but sometimes it's a little bit hard to figure out where they're going. Now you'll know.
know. Awesome.
Gets it all straightened out for you.
Cool. All right, sticking with the whole Batman theme, I'm going to go on to Suicide Squad, which is a metal tie-in. So this one is Gotham Resistance Part 3. Welcome to Poison Ivy's Jungle. If I can read today.
Poison Ivy sounds better.
I don't know.
You said Poison Ivy.
I don't know why, though. All right. So this one focuses on not all of Suicide Squad. It's the same group that was in Nightwing, not the Nightwing New Order, but the ongoing Nightwing Rebirth. That they had teamed up with part of Teen Titans, and then so this kind of picks up right after, I guess. They're not in the snow anymore, which is kind of jumps, I guess. But you also kind of see of what happened before that. You get to see Amanda Waller telling them what to do. And, you know, and of course Poison Ivy's in it. So.
Good brag. By the way, I'm super confused. I understand what I'm seeing now, but I was looking at an angle, and I thought that was her chest. I was super confused what was going on. That's her shoulder pad. It's super pointy. I was like, what in the world?
Yes, because that's what they're all wearing, because that's part of the metal armor that they have.
It looked cool.
Right? You should see Killer Croc.
Mm.
Yeah. And then we see we do get to see the other half of the team. They're fighting. So, I don't want to give too much away, but...
That looks suspiciously like Batman Who Laughs face there.
Yep,
Sorry.
Yep.
Just noticing things.
Don't look too hard at the cover yet.
Sorry.
Read it first.
Okay.
Oh, now is the hard decisions, right?
I know. It's going to be really hard. Okay. Generations has been going on for a little while. It's always pairing up two of the superheroes, both their past versions and the new updated cool versions. Sometimes they're the same person, sometimes they're not. Most of the time they're two totally separate characters. And they've been kind of a cool cathartic look inward at each other. So they end up with realizing, I'll tell you at the next book, how they're ending up together. But they're ending up in the same day and time, whether it's in the past, future, or in between.
Okay.
And they have interactions with each other. And they learn something that they need to know going forward for both of them. And a little bit it's felt like, well, that's interesting, but what does it mean? Well, I'll tell you in a minute why it's important. So for this one, it's really cool. I love the art style of this one. Miles ends up being pulled back to Peter's time. And they interact. They talk. He actually spills the beans to Peter and tells him who he is and why he's there. He doesn't know why he's there, but he knows that he's there for a purpose, and they learn something cool about each other.
Sweet. I'm gonna save that one for. Yeah. So this one's Batman the Murder Machine. I don't really.
So far, what I think I've figured out is that each of these standalone titles is Batman somehow getting powers or mushed together with another character. So
yes,
Murder Machine, who is it?
It is Cyborg.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
So he is fighting Cyborg. Yeah, the machine part makes so much more sense. So this is the one that's like super important.
To tie all them together?
Kind of, but without having introduced some of them.
Okay.
So I can't say anything else.
The Red Death last week was amazing.
Yeah.
And
you
impossible
don't see
to
him
find
a lot.
now.
Yeah. You can't see him. You don't see a lot of him in here. He's... Yeah. But... I can't say anything.
It's kind of been that way for this entire series, where we're like, this is awesome! We can't tell you anything about it!
Once you read it, though, I will totally...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have
read the things!
Alright, so Red Death, just so that you guys can go find it if you don't have it yet, is Batman and
The
Flash together in the most horrible way. I mean...
It's... Yeah. I showed her and...
Yes. All the things.
But it's amazing!
Yeah.
But it's terrible!
You need to have it just because. So you can feel the things.
Yeah.
Talking about feeling the things, okay, I got sassed already about maybe I'm a little more emotional than everyone else, but okay, if you don't get emotional reading this book,
I haven't read it yet.
you need to check yourself. Alright, as with all the rest of them, you end up with Steve and Sam together. But here's the cool twist.
Here's the kicker.
Yeah. You have Sam going back in time to show up when Steve is first getting his powers and figuring out how to be Captain America. Because he gets all that super serum, right? And automatically it looks like he's ready to kick butt in war. But there has to have been a period in which it was very difficult to figure out how
Oh,
to be
yeah.
a hero and do it the right way and be brave when you just,
Definitely.
for the first time in your life, could actually do something.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, and also, this is the first time in this series we've ever seen one of the characters actually not be pulled right back out of the together pairing.
Oh.
In this one, you see something happen that hasn't been in the rest of those books, where you see a character stay for the entire duration. So, a lifetime, imagine, for one of these characters together. And you also find out that Kobik is, in fact, the person that is pulling these two characters together and giving them these experiences. To what end? We have that moment at the end of the book. We're like, what is she up to, and why is she showing the characters this? And there should be like epic music at the end of this book for when it's like, da 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 da, everyone come together. Yeah, if you're gonna miss all the other generations books, don't miss this one. It ties them all. Which one goes in order?
I don't know.
These are both Mr. Oz tie-ins?
Yeah, these are both Mr. Oz tie-ins. I had missed the ones before. So, for me it was a big, huge shock what happens. But
because they reveal who Mr. Oz is, and I think
don't
they
know
found
if
that out
they've
last week.
yeah, I'm not sure.
So we're not going to tell you because we're worried about.
Yeah, I don't want.
Dropping
especially if you haven't been caught up because of Harvey and stuff like that, or Irma or anything. But for this one, Tim Drake, you do see him. He is back as Robin, but he is still captured because Batman was looking for him before. I can say that they are reunited. But there's this big, huge twist there.
I like your words there. That's good words for that.
I can't say that.
That was great.
And then you see a whole lot of... You see why Tim Drake decided to become Robin in the first place. He does say, because, he's like, why were you even... Mr. Oz is like interrogating him, really. Kind of taunting him. I guess.
Yes.
But is like, why did you even become Robin in the first place? And, he already had, himself. He didn't really need. But we see a lot of, this is important. This one's important.
I love when you do reviews when you don't finish any of your sentences.
Because I can't. I start them and I'm like, I can't say this.
Oh, yes. It just adds gravity to what you're saying.
Okay. Because you don't like it when I don't finish my sentences sometimes.
Well, only when you don't actually say anything. All right. Marvel Legacy.
All right, I guess.
All right. A lot of people didn't know what to think about where Marvel's going.
I have no idea.
They don't know what to think about what the direction's going to be. They didn't know what to think about Marvel Legacy #1. I can tell you, having read this book, I actually got to read it in advance, a highly redacted version, so I didn't get to read the last 5 pages, which has a huge, huge twist in it.
Of course it does.
And probably if you've been anywhere near the internet today, you've probably seen what character comes back. Try not to ruin it for yourself, because the reveal is really cool. But
I don't even know yet.
the story essentially ties together everything in Marvel from the very beginning. You actually start far, far in the past, when you have the original Odin, before he even really understands or is totally worthy of carrying around Mjolnir. You see the original Spirit of Vengeance, not Reyes. The original Spirit of Vengeance. The original Iron Fist. Caveman-y Iron Fist. You see, who else is in that group? The original Black Panther. Just really remember the Eye of Agamotto? Agamotto himself. Okay? And they are battling a specific thing when you first enter the book. And that is going to be the big, scary possibility of a bad guy. But in true Marvel fashion, you think that's where it's going, and then they throw something else in the mix. So, really, you have to have this book if you're ever going to read anything Marvel going forward. If you like Marvel at all, or if you've ever wanted to like Marvel at all. So much meat in this book. It's a huge honking book.
Too.
It takes a long time to read. Don't let it make you sad that it's a $5.99 book. It's every bit worth that extra $2 that you'd be paying above a normal book.
It's huge.
And I promise,
it's a big, thick book.
I like it so much, it is definitely going to receive the 100% returnability.
Alright, so the Oz Effect Part 2 from Action Comics. So, this is the book that I'm like, they have to have already said who Mr. Oz is. But you get to see more of him, and you get to see Superman and him interacting, and seeing some more of Superman's family's history, and some of Mr. Oz's history, which that's all I can say.
It's,
yeah.
Next week, talk about it.
Next week for sure.
Surely you will have heard.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, I went online. I was like, I don't know because I missed, but there are some people who still don't believe it what they've seen. So I'm just gonna leave it there.
Maybe they are twisting it. Maybe they aren't telling us the real thing.
I don't know, but I'm super excited to read more. I'll have to go back and read what I missed.
So many good things. Now we have to raid each other's piles of comics so we can read the things that we didn't get to read.
This time we mean it.
Yes. All right. We love you all. Thank you for putting up with our absences during Harvey. Everything's back to as normal as it can be.
Yeah.
So.
I guess. I mean.
Bye, guys. Have a good week.